Yeah, yeah, unmuted. Is that okay? Is that okay? So guys, yeah. So if we want to get our variables, we want to guys give me the name of a variable and give me values or the name of value. Let me say last name equals to somebody should give me their last name. Hi guys, Oluwatosin, Oluwatosin. So if you do this, the thing is that it's not going to print anything. Since in this line, all you are just doing is that you are just assigning a value to a variable. You're just keeping clothes inside of a box. You're just keeping values inside of a big container. So it's not going to give you any output. So 4 times it's not going to give you any value because that is just because you are just telling Python that please help me to store this value because I'll be making use of it in the future. So now if you want to see that value getting reflected back to you, you can just say you can call the name of that variable. So the name of that variable will give you your value if you want to check your value again. Now this is the fun thing about variable. It can forget the former value that you gave to it. Now let me explain with codes. Someone else should give me their last name. Olawale. Olawale. Yeah. Now notice that when I print last name again, it's not going to remember the former variable that I gave to it. It's going to remember the new variable that I gave to it or the new value that I gave to it. So please guys, when you are making use of variables, be very careful that you are not using the same variable name for different values because that can give you a lot of confusions when you are trying to code with Python. So always remember your variable name, make it as simple as possible, and don't start your variable name with numbers. Python will not accept it. There are some do's and don'ts with variable names in Python. So always make sure that your variable names are simple. And there are some keywords in Python that you cannot use as variable names. So for example, if I want to use print as variable name, print is actually a keyword in Python. So it's very wrong that I'm using print. Please, even though it will give you the correct answer, avoid using it in Python. Please, do we get me, guys? So that's one of the taboos that you must take notes in Python. Keywords for your variable name because you get confused. There are lots of rules surrounding variables and values of variables, but you get to know that as you go on in Python. So let's go to the next thing. Let's go to the next thing. Just like what I said earlier, when you change your variable name or when you change your variable name using the same sorry when you change your value inside of a variable and you are using the same variable name, your variable name will automatically update itself. Is that okay, guys? Is that okay? Now let's see another beautiful thing about variables. So I know that my last name is still Ola. Now let me say name equals to last name. Just look at what Python will do. Name equals to last name. So before I print out the results, I want someone to quickly rack their head. What will what do you think? You can give me the wrong answers. Don't be afraid to give me the wrong answers. Give me the wrong answers, but I want you guys to participate in the class. So what do you think if I run my name? Which value do you think it will give to me? All right. Does someone else want to try? Please be confident about your answer. Okay. Yeah, so I was expecting two of those answers. The result is going to be last name, the result is going to be Olawale. Now let's see how Python will shock us, or the answer that Python will give to us. What can you see on the screen? What can you see on the screen? That's very great. It's giving you a Olawale because you have already assigned. This is what you are doing. You are putting. Okay, now let's look at this. Then you have a separated small box that you have put clothes inside. So you have put clothes inside of that small box. Now you are picking up that small box and you are putting it inside of that big black box. Do you know your big black box also contains the clothes? That's very good. So that's why Python is giving you Olawale, because it is reading the value of that variable that you're assigning to it again. So it's the value that is going to be given to you. Is that okay? Exactly. Exactly. Now you get it. Are you guys having fun? All right, that's great. So that's what you need to know. Sorry. All right, so that's what you need to know about using variables. And I've explained all these ones that are here. Now, let's notice something. Let's commit our first error in Python, and let's look for a way around it, or why we committed our first error. So let's gladly commit our first Python error. So I'm assigning first name again. First name. Please volunteer a first name. Juwon. Okay, Juwon. First name is Juwon. Now, if I want to get first name, when I print first name, error here. Hello, guys. Let's try to rub minds together and let's debug. Just look at my code very well. Why do you think I'm getting an error here? Okay, that's actually part of it. But I want another answer. That's not the answer I want. Very good. Very good. I love the very last answer. The first name is not spelled correctly. So please, guys, when you're coding in Python, always pay attention. This thing could dabaru your whole work. And when I mean dabaru your whole work, it could cause a lot of confusions around your whole work. And then you're looking like, why is this thing giving me an error? Is it giving me an error? You might have written like 100 lines of code and then you just made mistake with your variable name. Your variable name could mess up your code big time. So if I write this alright, it's going to be giving me, sorry, if I write this alright, it's going to be giving me my value. Print first name was to John. Print first name. Now, guys, do you know the problem I'm having here? Now, let me explain to you. No, it's not the space. It's not the space that is in front of the print. Discussed with you guys earlier. I've already assigned. No, let me explain to you. That's why I said don't ever use a keyword in Python as a variable name. The reason why this is happening to me right now is because I've already assigned a variable. As I've already made a Python keyword which is called print. I've already made it a variable name and I've assigned Olawale to it. So what Python is seeing right now is that Olawale is assigned to print. Print is supposed to be a Python keyword which is supposed to work well. But because of the blunder I already committed earlier, which was what I was trying to explain to you guys earlier, that never make a Python keyword the name of a variable. It will be a very terrible mistake on your part. So no matter how much I try to debug this code, it will always give me an error because it is an error. I've already assigned Olawale to print. So print is supposed to be a variable name, but it's a Python keyword. So it's very wrong. So what I will have to do now is that I will have to restart, or I will have to create a new shell, because Python will always remember the blunder I committed earlier. Is that okay, guys? Guys, do you understand what I'm saying? Very good. So never ever make that blunder of assigning a keyword to as a variable name. It won't work. It will give you a lot of headaches later. So I'm creating a new file right now. I'm creating a new file right now. Yeah, so now this is what I will do. Yeah, so I have first name equals to Juwon, and sorry guys, I love using the Python shell directly. Hi guys. Hello, can you still see my screen, guys? Confirm if you can still see my screen. So now I assigned first name. Sorry guys, you can use the option I tried using earlier, but for me I prefer using the Python shell directly. First name. Yeah, I can hear you, please. No, I made a statement that Python always remembers your codes, the codes that you have done before. Is that okay? Sorry. You can actually edit the same shell, but you have to create a new, to be able to edit, you create a file. I'm using my own shell directly because sometimes shell is not editable. So did you see the option I just did? Hello guys. Create a new file. When you create a new file, print John. Guys, what are you doing? Guys, hi guys, can you see what I'm doing right now? Yeah, so you can always edit your Python codes. But for me, the one I'm most comfortable with is Anaconda Navigator. In Anaconda Navigator, you can always go back to edit your code. For me, I don't work with Python shell most of the times. I work with Anaconda Navigator. But I'm not going to be introducing you to Anaconda Navigator here. Is that okay? For the person that asked the question, it's very easy to edit with Anaconda Navigator. So I would recommend that whenever you're coding in Python, you make use of Anaconda Navigator. For me, Python shell is sometimes confusing for me. For Anaconda Navigator, it has everything, most of the packages that you need in Python. It has most of the libraries that you need to import in Python. So it's very easy to use for me. Is that okay? So you can always go back to edit your code in Anaconda Navigator. I can show you that right now in Anaconda Navigator where you can go back to edit your code. So guys, can we continue the class? All right. So right now, if I print my first name, it's not going to give me an error because I've actually corrected my mistake. The mistake I made earlier was that I made an error with my what's it called? I made an error with my variable name. So that was the mistake I made earlier. So never assign a Python keyword to a variable name. So if you can see what I opened, this one is just like an editor. If you don't want to code directly in your if you don't want to code directly in your Python shell, because you may not be able to edit in your Python shell. So if you want to edit inside of your IDLE, you have to come here, you have to click on file, create new file. When you click on new file, right, save your new file, and then you can keep running your code from here. The only thing is that you will see your results on your IDLE shell, but you can run your code from here and you can go back to edit. Is that okay? So that's the only way that you can edit on IDLE shell. Always learn to create new files before you go ahead. So it will enable you to be able to edit your code. So is that okay? Hello guys. I hope my point is taken. Yeah, so that's very good. We have done this earlier when we did string manipulation. So that was when we tried to get um Michael 2 times, and we did Michael times 2. So that's what this is all about. So it's called string manipulation, and you can as well do it with variables. Assign your variables, assign your integer to a variable, assign your string to a variable, and do concatenation. Do whatever you want to do. Now, another thing that we can do in Python is that we can convert between values. So if I want to convert in between values, let's say I want to convert do you know, okay guys, first please answer my question. What's the difference between this 5 and this 5? Hi guys. Yeah, what's the difference between the first 5 and the second 5? Very good. Very good. Very good. Yeah. So that's correct. That's very correct. Now, if I want to convert this first 5 into an integer, because presently is a string. So if I want to convert this first 5 into an integer, all I have to do is put the keyword int in front of the 5. So int is another type of int is a keyword that helps you to make conversion of a string to an integer, or helps you to convert any other variable or any other data type to an integer. When you want to convert to string, if I want to convert number 5 to string, all I have to do is to write 5, and then I'm able to convert to string. So my 5 becomes a string. So that's just how you perform the basic conversion. So you can have different arithmetic operators in Python, just like we practiced earlier. You can have addition, you can have subtraction, you can have multiplication, you can have divided by, as much as possible. Just keep doing that. Now we are going to another type of Python operator. They are called comparison operators. So this is what comparison operators do. You have operators like less than, you have another operator called greater than. Do you remember your mathematics? Hello guys, are you with me? Do you remember your mathematics? After less than, what do we have? Okay, after greater than, what else do we have? After equals to, what else do we have? Yes, less than or equals to. Then what's our last operator? Greater than or equals to. I love how you guys are very cooperative and how you guys are making this class flow along and enjoyable. Just continue the good work. So let's do some comparison between some two integers. Let's say 3 is less than 5. And one thing about Python is when you're making use of comparison operators, they will always give you your answer in either true or false. So when you're making use of comparison operators, just expect two answers. Is either you have true or you have false. Is that okay, guys? Very good. So we have performed our first comparison and we did 3 less than 5. Of course, 3 less than 5 will give us true. Then we can have 5 equals to 3. Please note that when you are using equals to and when you are using an assignment operator, they are very different. This single equals to is what you use as assignment operator. So it's what you use in assigning values to a variable. But when you're trying to make a comparison, you make use of double equals to in Python. Is that okay, guys? So when you want to write not equals to in Python, you use, what's that called, exclamation mark and equals to make a comparison of not equals to. So if we say 5 is not equals to 8, of course 5 is not equals to 8, so that will give us true. And if you want to write greater than or equals to 4 greater than or equals to 7, 4 greater than or equals to 7, sorry, that's less than 4 less than or equals to 7. Of course it will give you a true because you are doing 4 less than or equals to. So if it obeys one of the operation, it's either 4 is less than 7 or 4 equals to 7. So if it's 4, if 4 is less than 7, it still give you answer as true. And if 4 equals to 7, it will still give you answer as true. So that's why we have our answer as equals to true. The reason why I'm having that problem is because I put a space in between. I can hear you, please. I, I, yes, sure, I can hear you. All right, thank you very much. I'm very close to the end right now. Oh my God, I've lost myself so much in this class. You guys are so cooperative and you're making it so much fun. Yeah, so that's what you do with comparison operators. So they help you to compare. So I'll just talk briefly about Python lists. And don't worry, I'll be sharing my PowerPoint that I'm making use of with you guys so that you can code with it. So in Python list is where you create a variable and you create a container. And that container, you actually use brackets for the container, just like you can see here. So when you want to initiate a Python list, when they ask you to initiate a Python list, this is how to initiate a Python list. When you write the name of the variable equals to, then put an empty square bracket. That's how you initiate an empty Python list. But if you want to put a Python list, then you have to put your values. A beautiful thing about Python list is that it can contain different data types. It can contain strings, it can contain integers. So you can decide to assign name after age, after another thing. So Python list can contain as many things as possible. So you can have different data types in Python list. And another beauty of Python list is that you can always access the elements. You can always check the what you have in your list. You can always manipulate it. So in Python list, if can we still see my screen, please? Very good. So please note that when you're counting in Python, Python starts from zero. You don't start from one in Python, you start from zero. So you have zero, you have one, you have two, you have three. So Python counting always starts from zero. So if I want to pick these two elements in Python, of course I have zero and one. So if I want to index both of them in Python, I have to do zero up to two. So I'm doing zero up to two because this is zero, this is one, this is two. But when you're doing up to in Python, it will not pick the last number. So which means it's not going to pick the index two. It will only pick index zero and one for you. So that's why this is returning Captain American and Iron Man. Is that okay? Very good. So when you want to check the length of your Python list, you can always use len, then the value of your what's it called? The value of your or the name of your variable. So if I want to do len, all I have to do is let me quickly show it to you guys. Let me say I have L3 as my list equals to 0 equals to 0, 1, 2. So it's a list. So I have 0, 1, and 2. So if I want to check the length of this list, all I have to do is len, then put into brackets L3 to be able to show me the length of my list. So I get my list as my length list as 3 because I have 3 values Python inside of that Python list. Is that okay, guys? Hi, guys. Yes, very good. Don't worry, I'm rounding up soon. So the last one that we are going to be talking about today is Python dictionaries. What do Python dictionaries do? It's just like when you have a normal Oxford English dictionary, you have a value, and then you have when you are trying to define something, let's say name, you say, or let's say noun is name of any person, animal, place, or thing. So it's just like when you have a normal dictionary and you see that they write name and they put dot in front, then they write the definition. So that's exactly how Python dictionaries actually look like as well. But the only difference between them and lists is that they have curly brackets instead of square brackets, and also they stand in the format of key, then colon, then their values. Is that okay, guys? Hello, guys. Hi. Yeah. Dictionary you need the so for example in this place you have your key as Jeff. So when you want to check out and you want to call out A, if you want to index it, you have to index it with the key name. So that's why you have D into brackets Jeff. Okay. So you can continue doing that. And you can also manipulate your dictionary, but you have to use it as well in Python. So you can always update your values in dictionary. Is that okay? Hello guys. Yeah, if that's okay, that's great. So you can also make use of right? I can hear you. All right, this. Okay, D equals to Jeff. Yes, key. This is key. This is value. Yes, you assign the value to it. The key and the value. Okay, for the Steve, this one is actually a mistake. There should be a colon in between. Do you get? Yes, so there should be a colon in between. So that was why we came back here and we decided to assign a value to Steve here. And we assigned the value. I can hear you. Sure, I can. No, 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 at all. At all. They don't have to be the same data type. So you can say name equals to Juwon. You can say age equals to 23. And then you can say something else. Is that okay? You can even assign a list instead of a dictionary. And your third one can be a list data type. Is that okay? Yeah, very good. So guys, this is where I'm going to be wrapping it up with you guys. I'm sorry we have to go at this time. I enjoyed you guys so much. It was so much fun. It was so much fun hanging out with you guys. You made today really interesting. Don't worry, I'm going to share my slide. And let me just share you my number so that if you have any questions, there are still a lot of things to discuss in the slide. So that's why I'm going to be sharing my number. And you can reach out to us or you can join this community. So I'm the team lead of Lautech Data Science community. For 400 level computer science, guys, I'll be meeting you very soon, face to face. So I hope you're excited about that. Yeah, so I'll be meeting you face to face very soon. So if you want to contact me on WhatsApp, join the community, you want to know more about the community, this is my WhatsApp number. So Juwon can kindly help me to write my WhatsApp number and drop it on the group chat. So you guys can always chat me up. That's very good. I'll see your message. You're very much welcome. Let me know if you have questions for me. Let me know if you guys have questions for me. Very good. So I enjoyed you guys. You made my day really awesome. So I hope to see you soon in my inbox. So thank you so much, DSC and GDG, for making this possible. So thanks a lot. I'm really grateful. Yeah. I'm done. What is the chemical? Use what did Baby say? Hmm? And the hidden things will usually be what? Usually be what?